Hello, traders. I'm Matt. He's Jacey with Empire Algorithmic Trading, and you are tuning in to Vwapvision's Stock Talk.
It's where we look at the stock market and the volume weighted average price, and that's it. And so let's just get to it, Matt. Let's do a little stock talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got it right.
Nailed it, dude.
All right, Matt, it's time to talk some stock. It's hard
Yeah.
for me to get that out. I gotta think about that every little bit. But hope your day was okay. I had an all right day. It's pretty warm down there. How you guys holding up there?
It's a beautiful day today. Sounds like we're going to get a nasty little storm coming through tomorrow into Saturday, but that's all right. We've had a beautiful week, been outside enjoying. I got some grilling done this week, so I'm not going to complain.
Nice, nice. I sat out on the deck and watched a rocket launch last night. So that
Oh.
was pretty cool. It was a nice night. It was a good launch, and we got another one here in a couple of days. So and they're actually I think they're sending humans up, and so that'll be quite exciting. Might take a run up to Canaveral and check it out. We'll see. And then this weekend, I can't forget this Sunday. I'm heading up to the Players Championship up at TPC Sawgrass. Super excited about that. I'm gonna probably be there all day. So we're gonna end up doing a weekly review on Saturday because I'm gonna be off on Sunday, and then we'll be back to it on Monday. But in the meantime, let's just jump right into today's action, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, let's see if I can get my screen to share well. There we go. All right, as always, we start with the S&P 500 and look at that, another down day, down 1.39%. The S&P has gone into official correction territory. It's now down a little bit over 10% since its correction, which started just 13 days ago, which seems like a year and a half ago. But it
No
really
kidding.
has been just 13 days since the red zone started. It's been, let's see. Hmm, it's been 16 days since the peak. So, 3 days after the peak, we went right into a red zone, and it's been just trading down ever since. So, uh, that's what red zones are for, right? That's why we stop
Yep.
trading. That's why we just sit back and follow our sell rules. And so, it is what it is. Now it's time to just sit back and watch and see what happens. So, let's take a look at some of the other indexes. We have the NASDAQ Composite down 1.96% today. They don't get any better. Small cap Russell 2000 down 1.49%, and the mid caps down 1.59%. The mid cap and the small caps are just, these charts are just ugly. You zoom them out, it looks like a cliff, right?
Yep.
Same thing with the mid caps there. Bonds did rally a little bit today, and so it's nice to see them kind of stabilize a little bit. Like we've been saying, the last thing we want is for bonds to sell off as well, because then that's predicting a little stagflation, and that's what nobody needs. So we're hopefully avoiding that situation right now, and it could signify some other things, but for the right now, that's just gonna kind of be what we're gonna focus on. So I was kind of curious, the market is right. I mean, I you cannot be at a more pivotal junction. It's right in an important VWAP from when it broke out. The S&P 500 is right at the VWAP from when it broke into all-time highs after the last bear market. A breakout like that is a significant price point. Then, when you draw a line on the chart, the two significant lows from this last rally, it's pierced through that. Then on top of that, you were below the 200-day moving average and it's starting to live below the 200-day moving average. So that's not very good. However, when you draw a line from the bottom of the bear market to the most recent high, we're right at the 23% Fibonacci retracement. So that's usually a spot where people start looking at support. So you have the perfect retracement at 23%. You have the market sitting right at a pivotal VWAP, right? Those are some of the possible potential signs we have of a bottom, I should say. We have a bunch of leading stocks, and I mean a bunch that have sold off hard, 30, 40, 50% even, that are sitting
Oof.
at their all-time VWAPs. I mean, they're just right there. So This is either the buying opportunity of a lifetime, right? Or the shorting opportunity of a lifetime. If you look at it without context and you don't look at any economic news, you don't look at any geopolitical news, you're just looking at the straight price and volume, you can make a very bullish case. There's some bottoming patterns going on, not in the indexes right now, but in a lot of leading stocks that we do watch that have just been absolutely crushed. There's some bottoming patterns starting to form. They're not there yet, but there's starting to be some action that's showing a little bit of buying going on. The problem is the answer is a little bit of buying, right? Those are the key words because the volume isn't really big on the up days. But when you provide the context, when you add the tariffs, you add the geopolitical turmoil, you add the mass government layoffs, you have on again, off again tariffs, you have the uncertainty of everything that's going on right now, not only economically but domestically, as well as and globally and geopolitically. That changes the picture quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so when you're
Yeah.
looking around, now all of a sudden you're seeing these low volume rallies a little bit differently. You're seeing the high volume sell-offs not really as capitulation, but as real distribution. And there's been continuous distribution. I did see something today that made me kind of laugh. They were just calling this a buyer's strike. And I was looking at the chart and I'm like, this is not a buyer's strike. A buyer strike does not drive a solid stock down 50% in less than 2 weeks, right? So this is wholesale selling that we have going on, and there's no buyers, and so there's no reason really to be putting that anything at risk. Really, it's so precarious right now, and so it's real interesting to see where we're at. I'm excited to see where we go because it's building. It's the tension is the spring is building up, and you can see it in the leading stocks. The volatility is starting to tighten up in some of these. Now, quite a few today did break down, so that is concerning. That might be a little tip of the cards. We'll see.
Sure.
But if you're aggressive and you can and you know what to do, this could be a really really good shorting opportunity. However, I don't really play that game. I've never really followed shorting quite that much. I've always been on the long side, tried to figure out the long side. So I'm not really comfortable with some of those setups. I'm learning them, and because I feel like we're at a really good spot to learn those. But right now, I don't feel comfortable bringing anything up to that point. But it's an interesting spot to be in right now, and I'm excited to see how it plays out. So it's just a matter of time before stocks do find a bottom. It's just we just haven't seen any proof of that yet, even though some of the leading stocks are showing some life. But overall, I was looking at a bunch of different sectors. I've got a watch list of many different ETFs that are invested all across the board, and they're just decimated. Everything is just, there's no good looking chart. So I was looking, there's got to be something. And then lo and behold, there were three that just popped up right towards the end, and I was like, oh, okay, well, they're interesting. These three are. The S&P World, excluding the United States, is holding up
Ah,
quite well, which I thought was quite interesting. This is it's trading at about, let me see, it's trading at 36.53, and if we zoom out a little bit, that's just under its all-time high, which is at 38. So that's
wow.
the world excluding the US. It's holding up quite well as compared to our equities markets, right? The other two that really stood out was silver. Silver actually flashed a buy signal today, according to our model. The algorithm doesn't watch it, so it didn't kick any of it out. But if you just look at the VWAPs and follow our model, silver flashed a buy signal today, hit its highest closing price in about 12 years. And
Wow.
so that's a breakout. Not an all-time high, but a pretty significant high. And then lastly, gold, the safe haven of them all, right? The safe havens of all safe havens. So
Right.
that's not encouraging either. And gold's just been on a tear. I mean, it's gone up from 180 down to up to 275, which is a huge move for gold, considering it was pretty much dead in the water for pretty much all the 2010s. So.
Yeah.
It flashed a nifty little sell signal a couple weeks ago, and it's flashing a nice little buy signal today. So it's at 275.13 for the GLD Spider Gold Trust. and then the iShares Silver Trust is at 30.74. So those are a couple of buy signals. Those are really obviously quite defensive plays as well. So that just kind of tells you a little bit of what's going on in the market. It's not a very positive picture, to say the least. But as always, it's always darkest before the dawn. So that's why I'm an
Always.
eternal bull. I'm an eternal bull. So I'm always looking for support. I'm looking for the next opportunity. I'm already looking for the next bull market. So let's just get these sellers out of the way, get this thing over. I'd like to see a nice big flush out, a good capitulation sell. The last thing we want is a slow motion grind fest. So let's get some
Yeah.
selling out of the way. Let's get some fear up. Let's get some people really talking about the Trump slump, and then that's when the market will turn. So I don't know if we're there yet, but I'm hoping.
Well, and we just want to see some stabilization with these dang tariffs too. Like either implement them or don't. That way people can make business decisions based on some form of, set prediction. If
Yeah,
if I have to pay it, I'm going to run my business like I have to pay it. If I don't have to pay it, I'm going to run my business like I don't have to. Those are two very different business decisions for these major players to make for their long-term goals and business strategies. They just want it to happen and get out of the way so they can stabilize. That's what everybody's looking for.
yeah, exactly.
So,
So that's where we're at today, Matt. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but as always, tomorrow night we like to take Fridays off and kind of relax a little bit. The market's closed for a couple days, but we'll be back to it on Saturday. In the meantime, Matt, where can everybody find us?
well, real quick too with our Saturday is typically a little longer too because we like to go back through the week and we also like to bring up some different subjects that maybe we don't talk about in our daily stock talk. But you can always find us if you're listening on Spotify. We thank you. Our video podcast is on our YouTube. Go on to our Facebook, Instagram, X. Blue Sky. For more information about who we are and what we do, visit our webpage, vwapvision.com. And if you'd like to see our daily buy and sell signals, our arrows, and our arrow reviews, subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/ Empire Algorithmic Trading. And as always, JC, happy trading.
Happy trading, my friend. We'll talk to you later.